Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ellen. So today we're sailing through the sunset. We're going to be doing a tutorial that is in a tiny not a tiny sketchbook, but a very small sketchbook that I have, that I purchased recently to bring with my travels. And yeah, really kind of simple. I show you how I draw this. You can slow it down if you need to see me how to draw it, and draw it yourself. If you're a Patreon member, you get the traceable that goes with this. You know, and you can click the link in the description box to join that if you want to become a Patreon member. So I teach you how to draw this really simply, or show you how I draw this simply. It's really just triangles and shapes, not that difficult. And then we talk about painting it. I used to do these really small tutorials here called Mini Mondays, and I stopped doing them because there wasn't many people watching them anymore. So I decided I still love to do small paintings, and I think doing something small is less intimidating and really kind of fun if you're just starting out. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. But let's get started on painting this little sailboat scene. So I have this really cute book. I liked this company's bigger sketchbook, and I decided to try a small one. This is, I think, the 100% cotton book. Tumarta. I don't know, I'll have a link in my Amazon shop. And I already played around with it. I did a little painting from a photograph I took in Rome at the Borghese Gardens, and I thought I'd do something fun, simple today. Just gonna draw like a little couple of sailboats, I guess. And I like this little size, a little cute to play around with. It's nice to play around with something small because it's less intimidating and you don't get frustrated as much. So sailboat, we'll just put like a little line down here, and then another little kind of curved line here for a triangle, a sailboat line here, and then we'll do another one kind of out here going this way, and then for a sailboat I do like a little line down. There's a little sailboat sailing in the wind there. Maybe do like another one, a small one in the background, way in the background. And then I'll just have it floating now. I'm going to put like a little line back here. I like to have the top little triangle flag kind of here. So I put one out there. And I'll leave a space between the sail and the boat. Well, I can put a reflection. I have to think about it. Now, do I want to have land anywhere? Maybe I can have like a view, like there's some beach grass here. It's going like this. You know, we're at the ocean over here, looking out at the sailboat kind of close to us. So I'll put like a line down here and kind of put some like scrubby little lines here. Maybe put a fence. I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna put a beach fence in here, kind of going down, bending down, and then kind of coming down here. Kind of connect that. It looks kind of small. It would be kind of bigger in the foreground, so maybe I'll erase this a little bit because that boat is pretty big. So this fence would be bigger. Yeah, maybe coming off the paper. Perspective, you know, making up stuff as I go, so sometimes you have to play around with things. And then I'll put the grass here. I don't know. We'll play around with this fence that's happening, and have some like maybe beach roses there. I'll put my little line here. Keep it simple when you're just playing around with a new sketchbook or whatever, you don't know what to do. So I would just start with the sky, and at the end we can put little seagulls in here, kind of like tap in some color. I don't know if I want this fence to go all the way over here. I think I just want to kind of stop it right there. Maybe have it come down here, and then that's it. And have the beach grass kind of like there. And then we can have the sand kind of end down here. That means that boat is really close to shore. So you have to think about all these things. So let's make the boat a lot smaller. I'm using my little eraser here. So we're going to make the same kind of structure. A lot smaller, yes. a tinier boat. And there's our area. And then we could add some land back here. Way back there. That looks much better. It's a little sailboat. Isn't it cute? Simple like that. The same way I showed you how to draw that. Draw that. All right. So let's start to paint up this design. And actually, I think I'm going to add another boat. Yep. Right here. Throw you for a loop. And like I said, Patreon members get the traceable, but I didn't have this third boat in the traceable, and I want you guys to draw it. Oh my God, imagine that. You really need to start to learn to draw your stuff. You're only going to grow as an artist once you do that. So I'll put my little boat back here. It can have a flag or not have a flag. I'm just going to fix the mast on this one. I always think things should go in threes. So I'm going to use my Princeton 10 round. You know, I could use the 12 for the sky. It's such a small area. It's not going to matter. Do we want the sky bright blue, muted blue, wet blue colors, pretty colors? Let's play around with that. Ultramarine blue deep I've got here. Pretty, pretty, pretty. If we grab some little bright rose, we can make a nice purpley kind of color. So I'm going to play around with that. And it's going to be wet on dry. Now, some people will have a hard time with that, but you're going to just have to try and play with it. And I'm here, I'm kind of moving the paper like this and tilting it because I'm going to go like this. Grab more blue. So it's really kind of a purplish sky. Grab some water. I'm leaving white in between. And I don't want to touch the sailboat in case I want to keep that white. I'm going around it at this point. And really just kind of quick little sky. These sketchbooks do not hold, I will burnt sienna to this too, a lot of water. Ooh, that made it really dark. I don't like that. Oops. That's okay. I'll fix it. Just made it a little deeper blue. I had a pretty blue and then I decided to make it dark, didn't I? So I'm going to lift a little bit of that out. It's a sketchbook, so we're not going to be so careful. Add a little more water. See them going on the side. And then I'll kind of clean off my brush. I want it lighter on the bottom. There we go. I'm still leaving some white. And going over here, adding the color, filling that in. And that's good enough. For this, I can add a little more blue up here. It's a sketchbook. Remember, don't freak out when your things don't go right on a sketchbook. It's just a sketchbook. Seriously. See, I left a little white for like some clouds. And that's it. Really, when you do skies, I talk about this. I have a bunch of stuff on my YouTube with landscapes. You just want to go pretty quickly. You don't want to fuss too much. Right? And we can paint the ocean too. It would get a little bit deeper. We can change the color of the ocean. So I got this purple situation happening here. Maybe I'll grab some Prussian blue or even peacock. If it's going to be like, if this is more New England, you're not going to see these like fences in, Florida. So I'm mixing some peacock in with the color I just had there. You can grab ultramarine blue, play around with the colors there, and add a little bit of yellow. It could be kind of greenish blue, or if you want to have Prussian blue, a little deeper blue, Prussian blue, burnt sienna. Like, you see what I'm saying? I'm getting a little darker here with the color. I'm going to be playing around with this too. So, got those colors blue, and I'm going to go across my little brush here. Still not touching that sailboat, right? Notice how I'm going on a horizontal, painting it very horizontally like this. So I want to leave some white lines for the water. Obviously here, see that? If I go over the little fence, it's not a big deal because it's going to be brown anyway. Remember, it's a sketchbook. I keep trying to tell people this. So I'm kind of blend it in now. And this is the shoreline. We can kind of blend it. We clean up our brush. Just kind of blend a little lighter color. Here, me clean off my brush a little bit. And just kind of blend it down here. We'll go back over this again when it's dry. And we'll add some deeper values. If you want to go close to the sailboat. We're not touching that sailboat. Remember that. Here we'll have some sand color here. And we'll do some grasses and then the fence. So keep your blues. I'm going to remove some of this. I'm going to start to do the sand color. Now I have burnt sienna here. It's mixed in with the blue. I'm going to grab some yellow, cadmium yellow deep. You can mix a little ultramarine blue and change that up a little bit. So the color looks a little funky. Maybe text it on your paper towel. Oh no, it has greenness to it. We don't want that. So let's just remove that. Too much of that other blue is there. So burnt sienna. You can add a little Paynes gray to that. Dull it down. Right? Tap it on your paper towel. I think that works good. So I just add a teeny bit of Paynes gray. Teeny bit. Really water it down so it's really light. Tap it on the paper towel. Get off excess paint water. And we have this pretty sand color. I'm just going to go in here. Remember, we can go right over those fence poles if you want. But try and keep some. Try not to do that because if you want like a highlight on that, you'll lose it. So we'll put it over here. And we'll add some here. Again, I'm kind of moving like in a horizontal fashion here. And going over here. Wiggling. I don't have to hit the whole entire paper. Another thing is if we wanted to have like a white cap, not white cap, so you know the white goes to shore, you can kind of do the thing I've talked about many times, lifting the paint. So a damp paintbrush, a stiff one like this, you're kind of tapping back and lifting the paint. So it's light. We're going to add some more color here, so that part will be really light. So just see how I just kind of wash this simple, like almost sand color in here. And keep this lighter. We're going to add some shadowing going in here. We're going to mix up some greens, cadmium yellow deep, and Prussian blue. Get some nice bright green. Now that's a little too watery. Going to make the paint thicker by less water. Some beach grass. And you can add some burnt sienna to it. Change it up, make it a little more olivey. Depends on how color you want for the beach grass. Pretty much as this is dry, we can start to play with that. Kind of tapping my brush. See like that? Just go like this. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. We're just going really fast, loose. See how I'm going up and like this? I'm not touching the paper yet. Wait. Fast, loose. Get out of your head. Don't do these super lines that go like this. Please do not do that. You want to be moving like sporadically like this. Put a couple of long ones. Kind of cluster some short ones. Boom. Kind of wiggle over here. And you can kind of push down on these ones. We'll add the lovely beach roses. Right, and then this is kind of wet over here, so it kind of blurred a little bit. But you can do some really kind of nice big ones kind of coming off the paper on the bottom over here. Okay, if you want to make it a little bit darker, take some Prussian blue, thick, and some burnt umber, thick. And it's going to make a darker green. You can kind of put some of that in here, play with that, adding in some deeper values. Not too much of it, just a little bit, a hair of it. Tapping over here, we'll add some roses. You see that? Getting a little bit darker, not super dark. You clean up your brush, and we can start to play with adding some color here, a little bit deeper shade value of the sand color. It's basically the same color we just had, but we're getting a little bit darker here from the one down here. because that's further down the hill that we've made up in our brain, right? Can add a little blue in there. We made this a little bit darker. All right, now we're going to go back and play with our little ocean. And by the way, back here, this little landmass, put a little bit of green here. You can add some deeper value too. Tap it in. Boom. Little landmass. The same blues, maybe add some more deeper blues. Do another pass. So ultramarine blue. I have some Prussian blue. I even had peacock blue. Going back. See? More value. Still leaving some of that white that we see there. We're going to get a little bit darker on the boat. I can add a little ultramarine blue and burnt sienna if you want to have like a nice reflection kind of on that sailboat. See, kind of wiggling here. Wiggle, wiggle of the mast. That's our reflection. Same thing here. But before we do that, we can just start to put in some deeper blues. I wouldn't just do like little lines. Get some bigger swashes like this. Like that. See? You do a few lines and then do some bigger ones. I'm leaving that white stuff there, adding a little deeper blues. Back here. Still not getting my sailboat. Still trying to leave the sailboat. Again, it's just a sketchbook. Don't have to go crazy. And leave that really light here and go in there and do that. I stood up for a second just to see, because sometimes it's harder when you're sitting down looking at it, if it looks good or not. You have to step back. So I'm going back, getting some deeper, brighter blue, going over that reflection I made, and back here. Just want to keep it simple and keep it that light down here. You can throw in a couple of little deeper lines. See? Kind of having going out on a diagonal. And a few down here. Wiggle for the shoreline. Now, this little sand area, get a little bit darker. In here, adding in some more color. And leave it like that. Okay, so let's do the fence. Ultramarine blue deep and burnt sienna, make a nice gray. I know you don't think so, but it does. There we go, see? A brownish gray. And we'll just put that color in. Simply. We'll add another depth of the color. This is our fence. Going in here, coming down here. While we have these lovely colors, by the way, I had this space in between the boat, which I neglected, and I'll just put the little blues that I've been playing with through there. We're going to keep that basically white, but add a little blue colors, little browns, so take some of the blue and just add a little bit of blue on that sail on the left-hand side. Same thing with the little ones. Or you can make the sail. You want to keep them white. You can add some colors to them though. See, add a little blue here. Take some of the burnt sienna color, water it down, or even the beach color. Add a little bit of that in here. Right? On the boat, you're going to play around with this a little bit. Again, add a little bit more color up here. And the sailboat, we'll keep this mostly white. Just adding a little bit of blue and some brown with the tip of my brush. Oop. Boop. See? A little brown for the mast. Boop. Keep it simple. We'll add, like, maybe I'll kick some cadmium red light. Bright little flag here. And you can add a couple little doodads down here just to give it some life. If you wanted to have a stripe on this sailboat, you know, I could change it up on this one too. You could put a little flag on that one too. See, just little teeny touches. And then for this fence, we go back in and get that gray, same grays we mixed up, a little bit darker, which means less water. Just put in like little lines. Mostly on the right side. Go down. See that? Go down. And you can connect it. Doop. Doop. Sound effects. Just like that for the fence. Really just simple. I want to put some shadow because we have the shadows kind of coming this way. Ultramarine blue, burnt sienna again, but more on the blue side. And we can have some from the fence. See? All the grasses. Making a shadow from the fence. And make the little lines like the connecting. Just little details. I can make it a little bit darker from the grass. It's just a fun little detail. And that's pretty much it. Like, so I would go in and take, if you want to use like a marker or a pen for the mast, but I'm going to mix those two colors again and get like a deeper gray. And I can go in and kind of play around with just putting the, just see how I'm not going straight across, just little tippy taps, giving it that dimension that you need, little lines, up the mast here. You want to put a porthole in there. A couple, I wouldn't just leave one. Again, I'll go over this little line here. You could add numbers to it. I would make them more blue. I could do like 13 or 12. I'll do 12. And maybe I'll have some blue lines on this one. Look how cute that was. Super simple little tutorial. I'm going to go back in, add a little wiggles, the reflection of the sailboats. Just a little bit deeper. See how I just wiggled that going down? And there's like cute little wiggle, just something to do on your sketchbook. And I didn't put the roses. I can just grab some bright rose color. Maybe you have quinacridone magenta, whatever, bright rose. I mix it with cadmium red light. And I'll just kind of tap in. This is a little too red. I want it more pink. Just kind of wiggle. Just little tippy taps of like pink in here. Around the green for the beach roses. And here's some beach roses. Go back and mix up some of my lovely grasses and greens. I'll make some deeper color happen in here. You can play around with this, to your discretion. Put beach roses. I did put beach roses over here, but you can just easily do the same thing I did here and add it on this side, like that deep green, tip tap, kind of tapping over this way. Add some brown, and then clean off your brush and add some of that pink. Pink roses. I'm just basically tapping in color. Tap, tap, blend, boom, boom. If it gets a little too dark, just tap it out with your paper towel and go back in and tap it. And you have some cute beach roses. Red. Sweet, isn't it? This didn't take much time at all. Just a little idea to do. I like the shadow on this. I didn't finish, the sand part. You can play around with that. Again, I may take that, tap on paper towel, do some like dry brushing. Add more beach grass. It's the fence area. Maybe some of it can be brown too. And maybe add a couple of little shadows kind of happening down the beach. Like that. And that's that. That's our little sailboat sketchbook tutorial. Really just simple. You're drawing those simple shapes and just go really quick with the sky. I always say quicker the better. It just comes out nicer. I might add some gray tone here just to get this landmass. And this could be anywhere in New England. Really kind of simple. Don't make yourself crazy when you're painting something like this. It's supposed to be fun. And that's that. I feel like I didn't like this brown. Just lift that up a little bit. Sweet little quick tutorial on painting a little sailboats in your sketchbook. It's fun to paint little sketchbooks. I got a little more detail than this one for Rome, but this one's less detailed. So you can go either or, because the other one I drew more. If you draw more, you can paint in more detail. I didn't draw as much in this one, just really kind of simple. So I hope you enjoyed it. And, gives you some ideas to paint your sketchbook and try those little sketchbooks. Come up with your own ideas for sailboats, whatever. This would be great. If you didn't put in your sketchbook, you can make a nice little card for somebody who likes the ocean. All right, guys, take care. And don't forget, if you're a Patreon member, you get the traceable that goes with this. And if you're not a Patreon member, consider joining. You get the traceables, you get ad-free exclusive tutorials, all that good stuff. And it's where you can support my free content here on YouTube, which I really appreciate. So take care, and I'll speak to you soon.